Hello, a very warm welcome to one and all. Hope you are all staying safe. Myself, Achumariam John, and I am part of the HackP organizing team. HackP is an international virtual hackathon organized by Kerala Police to mount solutions on future policing. We have started the hackathon on July 17 and it is still going on. There are more than 500 participants forming 100 plus teams across the globe competing to bring out their best solutions. The final verdict would be on your screens on 15th of August 2020 from 10 a.m. onwards. It is our pleasure to convey our gratitude to our partners for the unconditional support they have given throughout the event. We have Paytm and SBI as prime partners, Beagle Security as the technology partner, Cloud4C as the cloud partner, and EC Council as the knowledge partner. Now, we can have a teaser on HackP Virtual Awards and Summit. Welcome back. HackP is organizing a webinar series on various technical topics, which might be useful for the cyber community. Developing secure digital strategies are highly essential in ensuring data security in the digital transformation journey. Let's deep dive into best practices for powering and securing today's digital enterprises. Today, we will be having our fourth webinar on the topic Powering and Securing the Digital Enterprise. It is a great privilege to introduce you to today's speakers, Mr. Madhav Singh and Mr. Samuel John Varghese from Cloud4C. Mr. Singh is a TOGAF certified professional with around 17 plus years of experience as a cybersecurity architect. He is an expert in assessing and mitigating system and network security threats and risks for on-premise and cloud. He is currently working as Assistant Vice President, Information Security, Cloud4C. We also have with us Mr. Varghese, Vice President, Marketing, Cloud4C. He also has been in the industry for almost 2 decades. Cloud4C has built expertise in securing infrastructure, data, and operations for about 500 enterprises of every size with hybrid infrastructure. Now, before I hand over, I would like to let you all know that you can drop your queries in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube channels. Mr. Singh and Mr. Varghese will respond to your queries at the end of the session. So, let us hear from them.
Thank you, Achu. Thank you for the warm introduction and setting us up on this Kerala Hack KP from Kerala Cyberdome. So I want to, at the outset, thank Kerala government, Kerala Police Cyberdome team, Shri Loknath Behra, IPS, DGP and State Police Chief Kerala. Thank you, sir. And Shri Manoj Abraham, IPS, ADGP and Nodal Officer of Cyberdome. Let me tell you, sir, it's a great initiative that you have undertaken. And I also take this opportunity to thank Sanjay Kumar Gurudin, IPS, JDevG IPS, our jury members, and Bijumon ES IPS. And special thanks to all the Kerala Hack KP Cyberdome volunteering team, especially Adarsh and Reja and Achu, and the team which is working behind the scenes, and all the partners. Once again, thank you for setting this up, and it's a great initiative. And thank you one and all who is participating from across the globe and in India. I know that you are all innovators and hackathoners, very passionate about your work, and that gives us a great, proud moment to support all of your efforts and bring it to fruition. So we are sitting amongst a batch of innovators who will be driving the future of this new normal. So it is a great honor and privilege for me and Madhav to represent Cloud4C and Control S here. And I would like to take a little moment here to introduce what we do and how are we powering the digital hyper world and whom do we power. And after me, Madhav will come and deep dive into the areas and experiences that we face live in serving the 60 of the Fortune 500 companies. And then he will take it on from there. And thereafter, I think we'll be open for Q&A. So let me share my presentation that I have with you. Achu, can you see the screen?
Yet. Yes,
Achu, are
yes.
you able to
Now
see
we
the
can.
screen? Okay,
Yes,
great.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So, as I told you, we represent Control S, which is Asia's largest rated 4 data center, and Cloud4C, which is a leading cloud managed services provider across the world in the high growth economies. And what we do in a nutshell, we are powering the digital hyper world. Uh, you will agree with me on this statement that Satya Nadella shared that 2 years worth of digital transformation is happening in this 2 months or so that we are passing through the new normal. And I'm sure that my partners in the industry and people who are exposed in this new normal would agree with this statement. And what a rapid transformation phase! What a change! And the way that technology has been adapted, the speed of adoption of technology has been unprecedented. This has really triggered the next wave of digital transformation, and it was bound to happen. But the interesting parameter here is to see how the companies across globe, especially India, have adapted to this new normal, and who are these companies? How did they how were they ready for this unexpected thing to happen and ride this wave to their advantage? And if you see the how of it or the why of it, if you kind of see the way that it has impacted our lives, nobody would have imagined 3 to 4 months back that classrooms will be empty. This is an unimaginable thing. No business would have imagined. But we see that growth in online apps have almost grown 60% in the terms of the user base. And even Google Classroom has doubled over 100 million over the last few months as the new normal establishes itself. And we see that the online platforms like Udemy or Coursera seeing 50 million students at any point of time, or 57,000 instructors over 65 languages. Who would have imagined this? Definitely the companies who or the entrepreneurs who thought through or who could foresee the future, they would have reimagined, and they were well placed to uh, harness this moment. Same thing, who would have reimagined the food business to be like this? Today, even the largest brands across the world, the five-star hotels have even come on doing door delivery. So that's the shift that it has taken place. And you can order a under $5 meal on Swiggy, and yet have complete visibility that when the kitchen has started for you. They have really reimagined the way business is done and the way food business is done. Similarly, healthcare. Who would have thought that we would change our behavior, or we would be ready to accept the new normal, to change our behavior, to have a video consultation over various mediums. But that is happening today, and we are accepting the fact. And the way insurance claims and approval processes are being done digitally, we could have never imagined before. But it has happened, and the processes are established, and this business space also has been reimagined. Similarly, I know for sure that that people used to say that old behaviors die hard, but I'm sure that the new normal has taught us new things, and now groceries come delivered to the door. We no more go grocery shopping outside, and rather we would depend on reimagining this retail space, as we would have seen with Big Basket, and even global brands across the world have adapted to this new normal. They have reimagined retail. Similarly, banking, and today the KPI of adding a new branch is no more a KPI. The new branch is adding one more mobile banking facility to you and me. So this has also undergone a lot of change, the way that we see. But what has been the driving force? I think the innovators across the globe who are participating in this hackathon, I'm sure you are passionate and you are imaginative people, and you are reimagining the way the future, and you will be playing a great role and a part in reimagining the future. And let me tell you, this is good news for you, because the companies who have been harnessing this time and this moment of the history are the companies who have reimagined their customer experiences, who have reimagined their supply chain models, those companies who could reimagine their cash flow cycles, those organizations who could reimagine how the marketing works or how the HR would function during this time. And this is what has driven the business transformation for these companies. And across these companies that I shared with you, one common thread that we see is the reimagination of digital infrastructure. They had the ability to reimagine the digital infrastructure. They were ready to take care of this because they had reimagined the future, and they could ride this new information highway very easily, and the adaptation was very fast. Now, we have also reimagined the processes and the way things would happen almost 10 years back, when we envisioned the future ahead of everybody else, and we set up our first data centers in India. And since then, we have not looked back. We are now serving around 4,000 customers globally, including 60 of the Fortune 500 and 108 of the ET 500 Indian companies. And during this transformation time, or this new normal, we have been supporting them during this period. And it gives us great joy to be in a position like this. And that was only possible because of the power of reimagination. And today we cater to the world's largest multinational, name the largest banks in the world, or the largest mobile manufacturing companies, or the largest consulting companies. We enjoy the trust and patronage of these brands, thanks to the power of reimagination. The key word that I would like to leave with you is reimagination. And this DNA was inculcated into this organization by none other than Sridhar Pinnapureddy, who was an innovator like all of you. And he is the visionary and leader who is behind this leading transformation in India, and also supporting this global organization across the world. And from founding the first indigenous data center company, a rated 4 data center in Asia, we had no looking back. This is how we have grown. And in 1990s, Sridhar started with a humble beginning of founding the Pioneer Online company. And then Control has established his first data center in 2008. And 2010, we launched Asia's largest data center in Mumbai. And we were awarded the Emerging Company of the Year by NASSCOM that time. And since then, we have not looked back. We have data center all across India, and in Noida, in Bangalore, in 25 countries across the world. We have our pods. We have the new ones which are coming in. I would like to give you a glimpse of how our data centers look like. Many of you wouldn't know or wouldn't have seen, so I thought it is good to put this on the slide. You see the Mumbai Data Center 1, which is a 20 megawatt power data center. Mumbai DC2 is a 24 megawatt. This is the Hyderabad Data Center. Very beautiful buildings. And Hyderabad Data Center 2, which is around 20 megawatt. The Noida Data Center is a 24 megawatt facility, as well as a Bangalore Data Center, which is a 12 megawatt facility. And what is in store? What are we bringing forth? We are going to launch our new DC3 in Mumbai, October 2020. And we are having a DC Park coming up in Mumbai 2021, and one more large campus in Hyderabad by 2020. So this is what is in store. And if you look at this building that we have delivered recently, this is a complete glass facade. It is not a glass facade, sorry. It is a solar paneled building. And we have been rated as the world's first LEED Platinum certified largest rated 4 data center. And we are proud to take our first steps towards sustainable energy. towards green energy, and towards sustainability. So these are our initiatives that we have undertaken. What is the vision? We would be largest rated for hyperscale footprint in India by 2023. Uh, so what have been driving our growth is this obsession of customer obsession and innovation. If you look at our net promoter score during this new normal, we have touched a high of 72, and we have also been featured in Gartner's Magic Quadrant and also awarded the Great Place to Work. So anyone who is in the audience who is looking out to join a great company to work, you can join Cloud4C or Control S and be a co-innovator with us. We are driven by almost 200 plus innovations since 2008, and that has been our driving factor. We launched our cloud services company, which is cloud managed services company, in 2012. And today we do end-to-end managed services on any cloud platform, and we are strategic partners to Microsoft Azure or AWS or Google Cloud Platform. We have till date delivered around 1 billion managed services hours. And we today have presence of over 25 countries and 52 locations. So you can imagine the moment we start a new data center or a new cloud service center, the employment that we generate for that region is great. So that's the way that we are contributing in India and globally. And we have been recognized by SAP as the largest global premier supplier for SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud Services. What do we do? What does Cloud4C do? We offer solutions, a full stack solution of SAP, enterprise applications, data center modernization work, uh, security and compliance, workspace collaborations, Linux and Windows on public cloud, data and AI on SQL database and non-SQL databases, automation, RPA, cloud deployment automation, industry cloud framework with single SLA up to application layer, next-gen workloads based on AI, AI ops, ML, and IoT. We are seeing a huge transformation in this space, business continuity, and hybrid and private cloud hosting. How does the future look to us, and how we see the future growing? Maybe this is a cue for all the innovators joining us from the platform from various places. We envision that 2030 will no more be the future or of manual processes of managing infrastructure application. It will be intelligent robotic automation will take over manual processes, and the existing systems, our existing positions that we see, will convert into automated intelligent coding experts and programmers, intelligent change management champions, hybrid SOC threat experts who identify new threats, automate remediations, and arrest resurfacing of some same kind of threats, expert working on automation to manage infra. So I'm sure that you all will be in this space driving the future. And what does our customers have to say about us? We support the largest enterprises like Adani or Jindal, and during these times we were able to give the CIOs the ability to focus on strategic initiatives while Control-S and Cloud4C manage their end-to-end operations with complete accountability. We also powered Flipkart in their data center expansion plans. So this is what we have done, and our work has won us global recognition, not just in India but across the globe. In 2020, which is very recent, we were awarded the Microsoft Partner of the Year, and this is what Microsoft has to say about us, that we went above and beyond delivering exceptional solutions. So, friends, I would like to lead the forum here to Madhav Singh, who would do a deep dive on the experiences that he has over 17 years in architecting cloud and in the security field. So over to Madhav. Madhav will drive you through the nitty-gritties of security. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. Uh, it's a very good, deep dive into the way Cloud4C is providing various services in terms of data centers and other IT related service offerings. Thank you so much. Just share my screen. So kindly let me know if you are able to see my screen. Okay. Thank you so much. It's actually I would like to appreciate and compliment the Kerala Police Department as well as the all the people who contributed to this Hack KP, wherein providing a very good platform for the budding aspirants who wanted to make their career in cybersecurity, and providing them certain opportunity where they can showcase their skills and capability in this area. Then when we talk about the connected systems, with the proliferation of IoT, Internet of Things, uh, there's no boundary today. So when we talk of like the smart home systems, smart cities, and also smart health systems, connected health systems, these all are like expanding day by day. And when we talk about the various the leaders in this domain who have forecasted and they envision that uh, this domain is going to grow in day by day. So I just wanted to quote what Eric Smith has said that uh, in the future, now the growth will be very exponential in terms of like you see all the devices, sensors, and things that you come across in your day-to-day life, and the kind of exponential growth that bring in that will also drive further certain concerns how to manage those devices. Let's say, for example, you may be hearing various news and going various articles talking about like connected cars. I'll give you a few examples. Like there's a couple of companies in US who have devised certain programs wherein if that is installed on the smart cars, that will provide certain connectivity with your friends or colleagues, and in case of if some breakdown or some crash happens, it will trigger an email to them. And let's talk about the agriculture. It's not only the cars and other comfort vehicles what we use today, the IoT for, but it's also in the various other domains and fields where we can leverage IoT devices. Like say, for example, there's a company in US again who have device IoT devices which tests and provides the humidity level into the soil, and based on that, if the humidity falls on at a certain level, it will automatically triggers the irrigation systems to further provide irrigation. Now, again, when we talk about healthcare system, there are certain companies who have also devised like for heart patients, they can implant a small device into the patient who are prone to attack, like when they sense that already they have been at severe attacks, heart attacks, and to be more vigilant on their future health, and that they should get that immediate timely support when actual some attack occurs. So they implant that into the body, and immediately when that senses that they might get an heart attack, it triggers an alarm to the entire health department who they are subscribed to, and they immediately act and they send the emergency ambulance services to them. A similar matter, you have IoT into the manufacturing sector as well. So now all slowly like the all the manual and more laborious work has been taken care by the robots, wherein there's no limit of time, and like they can work 24/7, and that always helps for expansion of their business. Now, if you take the example of IoT being leveraged in various future retail and customer care systems, the moment you enter, there are certain devices which have been configured and built. When we enter any of the supermarket, it will automatically alert you to download the software. So that once you download, it will put all the the list of items what is available in the supermarket, so that you can choose and just put select those items. With those items will automatically be transferred and packed for you, and by the time you exit out of the gate, you will prompted to make the payment. And once you do the payment, you can go and show that a barcode to the delivery system, delivery personnel, and you can carry your package from there. Similarly, there's a few examples which I wanted to just dwell upon and share that how IoT is expanding in day to day in providing surveillance, like in the regular household management. Like when you, I'll give you an example where the Facebook's CEO Mark Zuckerberg has the complete, his house converted into a smart house, wherein he has the artificial intelligence systems completely installed, and he gives commands through voice. So whatever he wants. These are the other few examples where there are certain countries who have shortage of manpower, and also they have deployed this robot IoT systems where they always they see that law and enforcement is maintained in those countries. And like they also, in case if they find that somebody is violating those laws, they can also shoot challan to them then and there, and the payment is done then and there itself. And now it's also the change of the way we the travelers used to visit some of the historical places. I have myself witnessed that when I visit to any of the historical places, those are now in the ruins. So we always, thought of uh, 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 thinking that if we could see how exactly the olden days will look, and the historical places how people used to live. So those can be converted into virtual reality, and you can always have that feeling that yes, you're seeing gone back to the olden days, the historical places. You can see them in their original structure. So, having said that, all with all this expansions of IoT devices, in the behind underlining technology, which brought them into reality, is the architecture, the way those devices are connected, and the architecture of it. So all the devices, IoT endpoint devices, are connected to the gateways, or you can call it as edge devices, and that again connected to the control server or the management server or the processing unit, what you call it. And again, like the configuration and all has is performed through the application layer. So there are various components which provide this IoT into existence, and having said that, this also brings a lot of concerns. Now, the way we are expanding into this domain, it's also like opening more doors for the adversaries who can take advantage of this technologies, and they find various loopholes, and they can get into your network through any of the possible vulnerabilities what might exist into those devices, and the way they can connect with each other. It could be like the physical security of the IoT devices, and the personal security, the operational, the way the devices operate, then like how exactly the devices communicate with each other. So they all are interlinked today, and they might open various, as I said, various vulnerabilities for the adversaries to attack on you. The reason for this vulnerabilities, and people when they design, they were more focused on usability than the security previously. Now, since from couple of years, people became more aware that security should be the fundamental part during the design itself. So since already we have many devices available, and there's no patching today, so that keeps all the doors open. Now, the initial problems could be that Since the IoT devices are so isolated, sometimes it becomes hard to upgrade the firmware to the latest level. And it could also be possible that they can keep their some of the ports open, so that if I'm any of the attacker or hacker who want to get into your network, either it might be a companies or maybe some smart home, maybe some smart cities, because all are interconnected to each other. So once I am able to get into one device, I can do a lateral entry to other devices as well. So this opens a lot of doors for security today. And we have witnessed many cases. Like, let's say, for example, these are certain trends which has been published by OAFs and other organizations, which say that, let's say, for example, every year some of the other actor has could compromise those IoT devices and brought a big damage to the organization or to the company, and to the people, to the high profile people. And the latest was a very latest, you might have read about the Mirai attack, where the attacker used those IoT devices as their further next level of attack vectors. So what they do is they converted those IoT devices into the bots, and based on the actual original hackers instructions, those bot again did attack on other devices that caused a huge damage in terms of commercial as well as disruption of services. Now, the actual the architecture of how exactly the architecture works for those IoT devices. So you have an application. Let's say, for example, your a smart car had certain IoT devices inbuilt, and you need to configure. And what you do is you connect to those IoT devices, and you do the whatever the basic configuration settings as per your requirement. And that that's IoT devices are again in the backend and connected to the control server that replicate exactly same, and those configurations will apply on the server. So this is the way actually it works, and you can also control that through a remote control app. So now there's a couple of various attack possibilities which we wanted to present it to you, and so that you know how exactly you are prone. So I just took the example of car, but it could be applying to any of the IoT devices today. So as long as I go to the close proximity of that device, I get the signal. If I can crack the signal and get into the device, I can easily hack into it. So there are various attack vectors which are depicted here. Let's say, for example, what you can do is once you attack it, you can emulate yourself as a control server, and you can give the directions or instructions to the car, and you can just play around. You can do whatever you want to whatever extents how advanced the IoT of that car, how smart the car is. So you can give all the instruction compromising either the life and life of the passengers who's driving it. And there's various attack vectors, as I mentioned, that you can either directly attack through the open ports of the IoT devices. You can directly connect to the control server. From there, you can attack it, or you might also, access the application through which the configuration is done on those IoT devices, and you can do misconfiguration that result in mishandling or like compromising on those IoT devices. It could be any of the IoT devices. Maybe it's a drone. It could be the law enforcement systems. It could be any of the IoT sensors at the mall. It could be camera, surveillance cameras. It could be any of the active devices. Once you know the open ports or the loopholes, you can easily get into it. And since they are interconnected with other devices, you can get into any of the network, and you can damage to a maximum extent. These are the further few more tactical, attack vectors being showcased here, where how the attackers, they do social engineering, they do reckoning, then they do they build their the weapons, then they install their weapons on those IR systems. Now, let's say, for example, if you could, as being a security person, you could sense that this could be a malware or this could be some APG software which is been dormant on your IT infrastructure, and you want to test it. There is various ways, means and mechanisms which you can leverage to do that. Let's say there's a certain open source uh, um, mm, sandbox systems which you can deploy on any of the hypervisor. It could be XI or it could be Hyper-V or like Parallels. Then you can deploy this sandbox and you can check the kind of uh, the malware it has been infected with, and you what these systems do is they do reverse engineering, and they let you know how effective and damaging this malware could be, and it will let you know like how are the various other ways you can control or mitigate and contain them through various mechanisms. So the majorly use is Coco and the virus total, as well as there are certain commercial sandboxing systems available today. There's Joe Security. The basic version could be used for doing the basic analysis, but if you need to do for the deep dive in doing the reverse engineering of those malwares, you can go with the commercial versions. So it okay. And there are few more which you can leverage, and you can just do POC and see which one is best suited for your kind of when you do the malware analysis. It can be used for the forensics as well. Now, when we talk about like the malware analysis, we also need to make sure when we build and design any of the application or maybe infrastructure and any of the IoT devices. So you need to make sure, right, what exactly the various attack surfaces attacker would be selecting when he's trying to intend to target before he attacks. So it could be the device's memory, the physical interfaces, or it could be the open ports, the logical open ports, and many like administrative purposes. There's so plenty of options available to them. So with which he can get into the system. Now, the most top 10 IoT vulnerability categories, what has been presented through various RSS organizations. They said that the mostly it could be because of insecure web interface, because the IoTs when initially were built, their core implementation or uses was just to provide certain services. Now, as and when the expansion and the way the proliferation happened with all the IoT devices, it opens many doors to that. So, initial days there were no user ID and password for the IoT device. They simply need to sense. Now, even let's say, for example, you have certain Bluetooth devices, even that acts as IoT. So, they doesn't ask for any user ID and password. So many concerns, many issues were overlooked, and that caused to open most vulnerabilities to those devices, and that caused huge damage to many high-profile people, companies, in terms of commercials or in terms of reputational damage, which happened to them. I just talk about the few of the recent vulnerabilities what have been detected and mitigated. There was certain Windows DNS server attack which has happened recently, and it was a zero-day attack. We just could catch this attack through our SOC SIM technology tool which we implemented, for which we had certain ILCs integrated, and when we detected it, we found that it's a zero-day attack, and there is no immediate patch available from Windows. So we had to adopt a virtual patching mechanism wherein we patched the HBSys, the other 10 microsystem, which it provided a shield to the Windows machine, which did not have an immediate security patch available for that. So this is one of the proactive thing what we did. Similar, there are tens of thousands of incidents which has happened where immediately you do not have any of the solution available today to patch the system and make it secure. And the other recent which I just wanted to dwell upon is the Maze ransomware. which is also, it's very rampant, and like it has caused too much of damage to major organizations. In terms of, what it did is just get all the, sensible and critical data encrypted, and it is asked, they ask for certain, monetary benefit in terms of like re-encrypting back it to the normal. So it was the various attacks which witnessed very recently, and it is few. There are two, but there are plenty, which are already there, and many of the systems which are already attacked, and those malwares remain dormant until and unless actually they receive command from their central CNC control. They it depends, like there are many are very targeted. They are just few are made by the root kiddies, kids, and they are just for the fun they do it. And they are very much there are other attacks called APTs. They are very much are driven by the countries and other top organizations to hit and damage their adversaries, so that they get out of the business, and they get incur losses. Now, generally, how the SIM technology works, it depends that what we do generally do is we integrate all the devices, production environment. Let's talk about the production environment. What we do is when we install certain agents in those devices, and we also the other perimeter devices also get connected to those SIM devices. They regularly feed ingest data into the SIM, and that SIM again has certain threat intelligence integrated with them. Then what they do is when they run certain queries, they try to match if those are of adversaries' IP addresses or usernames, or maybe like when they see the attack, the pattern of the behavior of the traffic, and based on that, they trigger an alert. So now, log analysis plays a very vital role. Though we have all the basic controls today, like we put at the perimeter, we put firewalls, we have IPS devices, we have antivirus agents. Like there are certain EDR component as well. Those do complete monitoring of those devices, even at the level of file integrity monitoring they provide, and they provide in-depth analysis of each of the system, whether it could be a laptop or server. And they also get updated all the time with latest signatures, so that they are up to date with the attack vectors which are available today. And they also, the certain EDR systems, what they have is they follow certain patterns or trend analysis. What they do is they see how each and every file system is behaving on that system. So they keep track of all the file system, which is system level as well as registry level. And if they see that if during some time there's certain change in the pattern of the behavior of the file, they immediately trigger an alert. So those are like fall under heuristic type of monitoring. So what we do is we collect that data at the central server, and we do the correlation. And based on the correlation, whatever the findings, and we see that this is certain, it could be an attack. We immediately start hunting for those malwares in all the systems, and we'll immediately act, and we'll delete them, or you can completely erase and restore the backup software. So there is various systems from where we ingest data. Let's say, for example, IDS firewall and proxy systems, servers, databases. So these are ingested on a regular basis, 24/7, and we monitor all the logs. Now, as I said, that since the data is ingested to the central system, there are ways how do you actually do the analysis. There are certain tools available today, and now because advancement in the technology, we are using machine learning and artificial intelligence to do that for us. We create certain user profiles and machine profiles, and keeps learning for a period of time, let's say a month, and it creates a pattern of their behavior, and it's stored in the database. And if it says this, if there's any deviation in that, it immediately triggers an alert. And there are other ways. What we do is like since the technology is evolving all the time, we always cannot rely on the machine as well. So we can also use, based on learnings and experience, we can do manual analysis. As I talked about that, there are certain malware analysis, malware analysis tools available today. So we just use them and we isolate those malwares, and we run that complete analysis by doing the reverse engineering. So generally, the logs majorly contain the time, the source, the protocol, the usernames, the attack type, and the how much bytes. So let's say, for example, a user who generally connects, and like his the utilization of bytes is between 512 to 102, 1026. But if you see there's a spike of byte, means that some user is carrying certain additional payload. It could be, they wanted to, save or like in any of the siege systems so that that can remain dormant for a certain period of time. It doesn't act. There are certain malwares which do not act at all. They remain dormant for a year also. There are instances where they remain dormant for a year, and once they see that the right time has come, that's based on certain triggers, they act and they start communicating to the backend, the command and control. Right, it can be done many ways. As I said, talked about, you can use for the analysis. You can use big data technologies. You can always, based on the behaviors and based on there are certain, as I said, that certain AVs are so advanced today. They act as EDR, and they run they maintain the analysis of each of every behavior user as well as machine, and they do regular monitoring based on that heuristic approach. Since most of the attacks do not have their security patches available, those could be zero-day attacks. And since based on a heuristic approach model, they can figure it out if there's a deviation in their actions. Maybe any of the file is behaving weirdly, and it gives a track of it, and immediately triggers an alert to the same technology. Like many reasons could factor in the failure of proactively maintaining control and like being vigilant for various kind of attacks. It could be, we just have certain technologies which are just designed based on the reactive approach. So as I said, that we regularly maintain the log ingestion to the SIG technology, and we also integrate certain advanced threat intelligence feeds from various organizations, or like based on our learnings, and it tries to do the correlation, and it tries to, once it finds that there is certain deviation in the behavior, it provides an alert. But these are anyway as a reactive methodology what we follow. So we need to be very much proactive in designing today's infrastructure in terms of providing robust security. And like it could be many things, like you may not know all, as you said, that every second day we heard that those were the days when the malwares, the proliferation of malwares were only in numbers. Now it's every day we hear that there's some lakhs of malwares are being developed and been spread into the network, because nowadays there's no boundary of the network. Like at the advent of internet, all the computers and networks are connected with each other. So it's only that they need to find certain way to get inside your network. So the basic security analytics, as I mentioned, that it depends on the threat intelligence feeds, which we integrate with the same, then the log data, and the various network devices connected, which provide security. We ingest all the data all the time from those logs of those systems and endpoints, clouds. So there's no limitation. Any IoT device as well could be connected, and it can always push the log data for all the connections or applications which are deployed on it, so that at the same we do the correlation rules and mapping and do our analysis to figure it out if there's certain attack, if attack has happened on the system. Like the, the base, as I talked about the elementary things, what we majorly concern is when we do the analysis is the how the machine is behaving and what the kind of data we are ingesting. All this come in combination with the learnings of the security engineers helps them to arrive at a decision that this could be an attack or this could be a malicious activity which is happening, and that can damage the infrastructure network or the system might it can corrupt. So that's the way. Then what they do is, if a real attack has happened, let's say for example there is a certain organization which needs to have certain evidences post attack, and that has to be shared to the central agency as well. So we they need to perform the forensic on that information, and they need to remove the drive, and they need to be kept very secure so that they could be given to the investigation further government investigation agency as well as other big regulatory organizations where they mandate that those forensic information is available. I think that's it from my side. It's a very short. I just thought of giving a glimpse of how the today's uh, um, security is been need to be taken care from various aspects, either through the same technology, doing malware analysis, and also like you need to be proactively doing for the reassessment of those web public facing applications, and we can proactively find rather than being reactive, finding the vulnerabilities. It always depends. Let's say, for example, you keep building your applications. Always you keep on building on. Always keep building on, and the applications, but you don't care how securely you are designing the code, designing the syntax you use. So all those things have to be taken care. So security is not only through network security, but it's through the design phase itself. So that's it from my side on very short about the various security concerns we need to be taken care today while we design. Since there's no boundary today, so that's it from my side. So
All right then. We are now open for Q&A session. So Mr. Singh and Mr. Varghese will be responding to your queries from the comment section. So let us see what are the questions. Okay, so the first question is from me only. So yeah, and that question was, what is the scope on which we can do forensics on cloud premises?
yeah, the forensic can be done anywhere. It's not only cloud or on-premise. Let's say, for example, you had one of this virtual machine infected. You can just simply copy that virtual machine and put in isolation as is. And you do the malware analysis on it, and you will figure out there's some infected software on it. You can just take the backup and make it secure so that you can hand over to the investigation agency further. And you also do you just also figured out that that malware could have been made a lateral movement, so you can just taking that the footprints, you just do the scan on all the network virtual machines or the network devices, and if you find that similar behavior, they find it, they immediately delete them, or maybe they completely erase the hard disk and restore back with the backup system.
I agree, but in cloud, how can we do that? Like, we can't go and take a backup of the hard disk, right?
Now, cloud, they themselves have their own hard disk, right? So when you say cloud, the machines have their own hard disks. So they provide a layer of security, like the cloud service providers their own security system, and above that you have virtual hard disks. That hard disk you can always copy back as is, that way you can do it.
Okay, so the next question. So there's a question from one Mr. Jayesh Rag. He is asking, what are the various measures to cut the bleed during the event of ransomware or malware attack?
When the ransomware attack happens, it always helps you if you have the backup. So when you detect that there's a ransomware attack, immediately you need to bring down the machine, virtual machine or physical machine, which in sense that that has been impacted because of that. And you completely, as I said previously, forensic. So you just take out from the network, completely isolate from the network. You do not let it remain in the network. And to run the business production running, you can always restore it back from the backup. And you do, there are various mechanisms. As I said that in the beginning, there are certain sandboxes. You can deploy that on that sandboxes, and you do further reverse engineering and investigation and figure it out how big that malware have caused an impact, or maybe the ransomware. So there's nothing much you can do, to be very honest with you. So since it's already been encrypted, if you do not do anything, and if you have a backup, then better use the backup and delete that. Erase that.
So there's another question from Mr. Krishnadas Parameshwaran. He's asking, Sir, do you think an IT professional with 12 years of experience in IT infrastructure can switch domain to cybersecurity? What is the best approach to start with?
I think it's a very good, skill set what you possess. Network security guys and infrastructure people, they know how exactly to secure their, the perimeters. But at the same time, what they need to do is they need to get into certain trainings, which enhances and equips them further of all the various security skill sets what they needed. Let's say, for example, CEH or OSCP, they can do it. And there are certain very world recognized certification like CASP, which gives them the basic foundational understanding of what are the security controls required and at what are phases, so that can help them.
So the next question is from Mr. Anand Santosh. He's asking, does financial organizations like banks adopt public clouds? Is cloud infrastructure security mature to a level banks can have full trust?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? We ourselves have many banks on the cloud. So definitely they can go. And I think today the cloud service provider are so mature in terms of providing security, as well as they can also maintain that regulatory requirements required. But let's say, for example, for India, it's RBI, which says that certain controls and certain mechanisms should be in place for all the banks. So yes, definitely. I think it's the right time where people can plan to move to the cloud.
And to add to what Madhav was saying, we have a practice called Bank in a Box, which
Yeah.
provides community cloud. So you can reach out to us.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So it's a complete package. What we provide, we'll take care of all the controls and regulatory requirements for the banks, and we take care. You take care of their security, aspects. So we have various controls like two-factor authentication. There are multiple controls we have there. So I think yeah, it's the right time. Time is right now.
Okay. The next question is from Mr. Jayesh Rag. What is the best recommendation and approach towards the large number of open vulnerabilities in an organization?
Being very proactive, I would say. You need to be very proactive. So you cannot say that I'm 100% secure. None of the organization can say that, because as and when you keep on growing, bringing new software, upgrading your systems, you somewhere opening some doors to them. So it's a very proactivity. It's a regular exercise what needs to be performed.
Another question from Anand Santosh. It's easy to move to cloud. How easy to come out of it if an organization chooses to in the future?
So when the easy it is to move from on-premise to cloud, it's the same way it's easy from moving from cloud to on. There's no difference today, because all the infrastructure is virtual. So what you do, let's say for example, if my organization is have a VMware on that, my machines are virtual. So what I do if I move to cloud, I just migrate as is. That creates a copy of the virtual machine and deploy it as is on the cloud. Same way, you take the copy of the virtual machine from the cloud and you deploy it on the virtual environment what you're on premise. It doesn't make any difference. It just need to check the compatibility. There are various ways to get the compatibility.
So, are there any more questions? Okay, I think that's the end of the question. Both of you, it was an incredible session, and we are so grateful for your expertise and futuristic vision. You have given a clear-cut idea on how to develop a successful digital strategy. On behalf of HackP, I extend our sincere thanks to you for being with us today in such a short notice. Also, I thank all the attendees for your time. If you have any additional queries, you can reach out to them through their LinkedIn handles. Thank you both. We have scheduled our next webinar on 6th August 2020 at 7 p.m. on a topic digital fraud mitigation. Mr. Jadinder Thakur, Senior Vice President, Paytm Payments Bank, would be taking the session. See you all again tomorrow. Stay safe and thank you.